Let's build the best raid XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock 1.19. The first thing you want to do is find yourself a pillager outpost, and then after you've found one, you want to go ahead and kill off all of the pillagers and clear up this top floor. So we want to get rid of this chest and pick up the loot, kill all the guys that come up here, and then we also want to fill in the floor with birch planks just like so. So this is what it should look like. After you've cleared up the first floor, you're going to grab some glass panes, and we're just going to fill in this entire area. So place down glass panes inside of these logs, so create a nice little row here, and then just go across and fill in this entire area. So we want to fill all the way to this log with glass, and we're just going to create this nice little grid pattern. After you've completed this grid pattern, we're going to go around and kill off all of the pillagers. That way we can see where the pillager captain is going to spawn, and that's going to be where we build the kill chamber. So right there is the pillager captain. So we're going to go ahead and kill him, and then kill all of the other illagers and pillagers in the area. That way they all spawn up top. As you can see, I went ahead and killed off all of the pillagers, and you're going to get the bad omen effect a lot while building this farm, so don't worry about it until we have to go deal with villagers. If you are going to go back to your base though, where there are villagers, make sure to drink some milk, or you are going to start a raid inside of your base. But as you can see, we have these pillagers here trapped inside of the glass. So this is actually the spawning spot for the pillager outpost. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dig all of the glass panes around them without releasing them. So that way we can actually mark down where the spawning spot is. So just go around them just like so, leaving the 4 panes that are encasing them. And then just break the rest of these panes. And once you have only these pillagers left and only those glass panes, we're going to go ahead and kill off all of these pillagers, and then we're going to mark down the blocks underneath of these glass panes. That way we know where to build the kill chamber so that we can get the bad omen effect, and then just knock out all of those glass panes. You don't have to use gold blocks, obviously, it's just they're a very standout block, so I'm not going to accidentally break these, but you could use whatever block you want here. Just make sure that you mark down where the pillagers were. What we want to do now is clear out this entire outpost except for the blocks that we placed. So we're going to mine all the way down to this floor level. So just starting right here, we're going to dig up everything that is above this line. And after destroying the pillager outpost, this is what it should now look like. I just went ahead and patched up some of those staircases here. And we're going to come over to this platform and place down a set of blocks and then a layer of glass panes on top of it. And then just go ahead and remove the blocks underneath. Now what we want to do is create a layer around this square here to create a 4x4 platform. And then we're going to place down another ring of blocks going just around that ring as well. We're then going to grab our pistons, and we're going to place down a piston here, 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 and here, so that they are all looking in different directions and they're not aligned with one another. From here, we're going to go ahead and place down some temporary blocks, just like so, and then we're going to run some observers into those blocks. So we want the observer to be looking at the block, and then this red dot going into the piston. So we're just going to come up a little higher. As you can see, the arrow is pointing into the piston. That's how you know it's looking the right way. And we're going to do that for every single one of these blocks. After doing that, we can go ahead and just break all of these blocks, and that should start a chain reaction after we place down all of these redstone torches. So we want the redstone torch on this side of the piston so that the observer is looking at the torch. And we're going to go around, and then this will start the transition. So there we go. They're all firing now, and this is going to be our trident killer. So what we want to do now is create a layer of blocks just underneath there so that we can pick up all of the items that are going to be dropping from this trident killer. So we're actually going to throw down a hopper on this piston and just turn that on, and that will stop the trident killer, and it should just be still now. Underneath of here, we're going to place down 2 blocks just like so, and then place down 1 more block right here and a block right here to create this little T shape. From here, we're going to grab a hopper and run it into that block, and then we're going to place down a hopper minecart on top of here. Alright, so we're just going to shift click a rail on top of that hopper, and then we're going to place down a minecart hopper on top of that rail. So now anything that gets killed inside the trident killer is going to get picked up by this minecart hopper and then go down into the hopper, and it's going to run into our chest. So break this temporary block and place down a chest right here, and that's going to be where all of the items go. We're going to get tons of pillager banners, and I think that they are super cool. So we're going to go ahead and place down some blocks around this minecart hopper so that it doesn't get knocked out of place. And there we go, just like that. That is the first part of the farm done. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to build some walls next to these glass panes. So we want to build up by 2 so that these glass panes connect up to these blocks. We're going to leave a block gap right here next to the lever so that we can get in and out of this little area for right now. We're going to finish building the walls, and then we're going to add some leaves on top of here. Now, all you need to do is run away so that we get another pillager in here, just so that we can see if it actually is spawning pillagers. So I'm flying because I'm in creative mode, but running away in survival would work all the same. We just need to have some distance so that the pillager can actually spawn inside the chamber. And then after he spawns, we'll know if we picked out the right spots. If not, unfortunately, you're going to have to find the right spot again. All right, so it might take some time, but I now have a pillager in there. It's spawned. And if we come down here, all we have to do is go ahead and kill him, just like so. These things are real. Okay, from the bottom. That's the trick. You can't do it from the top. You got to do it from the bottom. All right, so now that we know that they actually spawn in here, we're going to grab a locator map, open this bad boy up. All right, so after some map difficulties, I now have the map open. And what we want to do is get the little tracker to look in the southeast direction, just like so. And that means that this is going to be the block that they are spawning on. So right here, if we go ahead and check, yep, we're looking at the block in the southeast direction. So this is actually the block where the pillager is spawning. So we can just go ahead and clear out all the rest of these blocks. And if this isn't the right block, then you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting the right spawn spot. But yeah, so the southeast direction does work. After doing that, we're going to grab a solid block of glass and place it on top of that spawning block. So that way, when they spawn, they're going to get pushed off into the trident killer. So we're going to go ahead and throw a trident at that piston face right there. And if we go ahead and turn on the trident killer, this thing is going to start getting pushed around. And that is how we're going to be killing all of the pillagers. So we are almost done. All we have to do is turn off the trident killer. And then we're going to go ahead and fill in this gap. Place down a leaf block here. And then fill in the roof with normal blocks. And place down some more oak leaves on top of there. Now, if we go ahead and turn on the trident killer and then run away, or in my case, fly up in the air, if we go ahead and drink some milk to get rid of the bad omen effect, eventually this is going to give us the bad omen effect, and that is actually how the farm functions. So this is the bad omen generator, and then we're going to build the kill chamber for the raid up in the sky. But this is so that we can AFK at it, and you can literally AFK for days, get tons of experience, and tons of emeralds. And just like that, we got the raid effect. So what happened there is we actually summoned a pillager captain, and then it was killed by the trident killer, and we got the bad omen effect. So we can just go ahead and turn this off, go ahead and drink some milk, and now you don't really have to worry about the bad omen effect until you turn that trident killer back on. Because this farm relies on this bad omen generator, you can expect about 2 minutes or a minute of delay in between each raid, just because it has to summon a pillager captain, and then it has to go through the trident killer. So just a note, thought you guys should know. A really quick change is you should get rid of this block right here and replace it with a glass block. That way you can open up this chest and get into all of those illager banners and arrows and stuff. Now what we want to do is grab some scaffolding or some ladders, and we're going to come next to this lever, place down a scaffolding right here, and we're going to build up until we are 2 blocks higher than the lever. From here, we're going to build up 32 more blocks using either scaffolding or ladders. After you've built up by 32 blocks, we're going to create another 4x4 platform directly over top of the trident killer. So we're just going to go like so, and then over by 3, and then just go ahead and fill in this platform. Now this is going to be another trident killer for all of the raid guys, and then we're going to add a little AFK platform here because this is going to be where you AFK while using the farm. Make sure that your AFK platform is fully made out of leaves, or you're going to have some raid things spawning here, and quite frankly, you do not want that. And now we're going to build a second trident killer, so just go ahead and place down 4 pistons in alternating directions like so. And then go ahead and grab some observers, and we're going to place them looking at the air here. So actually it'd be easier if we place down blocks again. I got ahead of myself, just like that, and then we're going to grab our observers, point them looking at the blocks, and then the arrow should be pointing at the piston, and we're going to do this in all 4 empty spots. Break the blocks like so, and then fill in all of those empty spots with redstone torches on this side of the piston. and then it should start a clock like so. So we're going to grab a lever now and just place it on one of those pistons and turn it on, and this is going to stop the trident killer from going. We're going to add a second layer to our little scaffolding tower here, so we're going to go underneath of any of these 4 blocks. I'm just going to pick this one, go down by 3 blocks, and then place a block right here. Go ahead and break these 2 blocks, place a hopper running into that temporary block, and then place down a rail on top of that hopper. We're going to go ahead and place down some blocks right here, just like so, and on this side, we're going to place down a minecart hopper. We're then going to break this temporary block and add in a double chest right here, and then you can add as much storage as you would like. I would recommend more storage than less, so it's easy if you just place down temporary blocks every so often. Place down a chest, do the same thing over here, temporary block, and then a chest, and then we'll do one more set, so temporary block, and then a chest. And then if we just go ahead and break all of these temporary blocks, and then run hoppers into all of those double chests, then we have a nice little storage system here, and it's never really going to get full. So if you're going to AFK for a couple days, I would recommend having, honestly, maybe even 40 double chests, because this thing makes a ton of items. And of course, just place down a little leaf platform. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Okay, leaf platform, and we're just going to create a little platform here so that you can get to all of your stuff. We're now going to add a layer over top of the trident killer just to make everything a little more clean, leaving this center chamber empty so that things can fall down it, and then we're going to build up by 17 blocks for this entire chamber. And before we forget, we better throw a trident into the trident killer, so just throw a trident at any one of those pistons, turn it on, and it should start moving the trident, and that's how you know it is good. So then just turn it back off, and then fill in this hole, and we've got this massive pipe now. At the top of the chamber, we're going to build out by 3 blocks in 2 directions, so 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to go ahead and connect up this platform to create a giant square, and this is going to be where everything is spawning. Now, this is a relatively small square, but because we are in the air, it really doesn't matter. So we're going to add a barrier around this little square here, and we're going to make this wall 6 blocks tall. So there's 1 and then 5 more. After building up by 6 blocks, we're going to grab some leaves, and we're going to place down a row of leaves around this wall here. From here, we're going to go inside of the chamber, and we're going to grab some signs, and we're going to place down 3 signs just like so. And then we're going to go up 3, and we're going to place down 3 signs here, 2 signs here, 1 sign here. And then we're just going to create a little enclosure so that we can put some lava up here. The reason why we're putting lava up here is because unfortunately Ravengers don't fit inside of a 2x2 hole. So all of the Ravengers are going to get killed to this lava here. And there we go. That is perfectly encased. Yeah, okay. Signs are a bit weird because they don't take up the whole block and it looks confusing. But if you have this shape, it's like a W and then 3, 2, 1, you're good. Place down a lava bucket in the corner here. It should spread, and if it spills, you did it wrong. But it looks like we did it right. Actually, we have to get rid of that sign. And now we did it right. There we go. All right, signs are confusing, but there we go. Ravengers are going to die inside of that lava. And all we have left to do is place down a water bucket right here, and then it's going to lead over in here. Now, if you actually come here, the reason why we put those signs there is because we don't want water dripping down into the kill chamber, and this block is going to make it so that they actually fall in. The next thing we want to do is build a chamber to hold a villager, and this is going to act as the village so that a raid actually spawns. So we want to come underneath of one of these overhangs, and we're going to build down by 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to come in the center of the chamber and place down 2 blocks like so, and then go ahead and break all of the blocks you just placed. From here, we're going to set down a bed, and then we're going to encase this in glass. So we want to place down a layer here, and then place down 2 more layers of glass. Go ahead and cover this in leaves, just like so. That way we don't have anything spawning on top, and then just go ahead and break those blocks right there. Now, all that's left to do is to get a villager in this chamber, and then you're completely done building the farm, and all we need is to get a villager. So you can do that via boat or by rail, bubble column, whatever you see fit. I personally think that using a minecart is probably the easiest way to get a villager up here, and yeah, so get a villager up here. After you have a villager inside of the chamber, the farm is completely done and ready to use. So all that's left to do is to drop down here, turn on the kill chamber, and we should honestly get the bad omen effect pretty quickly because there should have already been a pillager captain in there. So we're just going to come up here and wait for a pillager captain to spawn. Go ahead and turn on this trident killer as well. So that way we have the bad omen effect and we also have the raid farm going. So this should summon a raid as soon as we get the bad omen effect. And just as I ended that clip, we got the bad omen effect. So a raid should be starting any minute now. All we have to do is wait. That villager should... Yep, there we go. Okay, the raid has begun. It might take a couple seconds like you saw there. But after the raid starts, it's just going to kill off all of the waves. And all of the drops are going to end up in our storage area right here. Now is probably a good time to check to make sure everything is good. Make sure everything's spawning up here. As you can see, there are in fact some pillagers in here. They're dropping down. They're hitting the lava. They're going into the kill chamber. And if we actually come down here, we are getting all of the drops as well. And to get the XP, all we have to do is a very slight modification. All we need is a slab right here. So let me grab one really quick. All right, with the slab, we're going to break this block and place down a slab right here. And now we should be getting all of the XP from the farm. Really quickly, it looks like they changed the game at some point. So now pillagers can spawn inside the glass here. So we're just going to replace this glass with leaves. And that should honestly fix the problem. And we should be good to go. As you can see, that is the fate that all of the Ravengers are going to meet. But yeah, changing those to leaves fixed the entire farm. So make sure that you change those into leaves. And then the farm should be working at full power. Now, this farm is going to give you a ton of XP and a ton of items. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Wow, that's a lot of witches. Yeah, I'm always amazed by raid farms. They're so cool. Tons of XP, tons of just drops in general. This thing is absolutely incredible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this farm. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, then please be sure to smash subscribe and leave a like. I know that this was a really long video and it took a really long time to make. There were a lot of mistakes made while building this. So make sure you have the patience before you build it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is 1UpMC and I'll catch you guys in the next one.